Hello, my beauties. Welcome to the Get a Helmet podcast. I am so happy you are here. I truly love making this show, and I'm so grateful to have you as a listener. Maybe it's your first time listening. If so, that means that the title of this episode called you here. Trust that. I'm so glad that you did, that you followed your intuition to press play. You are in the right place. This episode is actually an Instagram live that I did a while back that I felt was really kind of in line with the things that I'm offering and the different conversations that I'm having on the podcast. And I just wanted to share it with you here in case you've missed it. This one is really based on somatic healing, somatic work, using the wisdom of the body, your energetic centers to communicate with you, to move them, to breathe with them, to be with them, and to feel so grounded and empowered from that place to lean into the messages that you're getting from your body. So on this Instagram live that you'll hear here, I talk a lot about getting into your body to quiet the mind. So doing less thinking, right? The egoic mind, the thinking mind, the overthinking, all of that, and coming back into your body. And a beautiful way to do that is to dance, is to move. And so that's what we're going to do here. On this episode, we go through a little mini somatic practice. So you can do it with us. It's really, really, really beautiful and fun. And if you're feeling really called to learn more about this is what we're doing inside of my private membership container called The Circle. And I'd love to have you join us there. I'll put the link in the show notes to join. But if you want a deeper taste just to try it out, I also just recently put up a somatic healing and embodiment practice that's like kind of a long, juicy one, like 45, 50 minutes. It's an audio practice. You can get it totally for free. We'll put that link in the show notes too. And this is a beautiful practice to use as your morning practice, to use when you're trying to kind of find an answer or gain clarity, connect back to your worth and your power. Oh my goodness, I can't even stress to you enough how incredibly filled with wisdom your body is. So this practice will take you deep, 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 deep. So I highly recommend giving it a shot. And then if you do want to join the membership, it's $14 a month for now. The price will be going up soon. But inside of that, we meet twice a month. We do full moon dance rituals live, and we're doing all sorts of somatic movement and embodiment work there. And then you also get access to a library of healing practices, and some of which are somatic movement practices, and they're anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes long. So these ones can really, really pack a punch, but it's a little bit more accessible for you to do daily. Connect to your power, to your intuition. And, if you've been following me on Instagram over at @getahelmet_, I've been talking a lot more about the production company side of Get a Helmet and making brand documentaries and producing podcasts. And I bring all of this work, the somatic work, into the storytelling avenue of my business. We do embodiment work. We do some dance. We use somatics to get you into your authenticity and into your truth before any microphone or any camera turns on. And so that's kind of like the thread of everything that we're doing here at Get a Helmet. And I'm just so thrilled that you're here and that you found some resonance with this. And perhaps you're going through something right now that you feel you need a little clarity on, or just a little fucking encouragement. Welcome. Let us hold you. So sit back, relax. You may want to create a little space around you physically to do this practice. Obviously, do not do this if you are driving. It would be impossible to do this if you're driving. But there's also, I speak a lot about what somatic movement is and the energy body and the wisdom of the body and everything too. So enjoy and make sure to go get that free practice if you're feeling called to learn a little bit more. I love you so much, and I'll see you very soon. Hello, my darlings. Fancy seeing you here tonight. We're going to do a little somatic practice tonight. We're going to have ourselves a little chat about anxiety, about this idea that was on my podcast, on the episode that came out yesterday, about less thinking and more feeling. So if you're like, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? When we're caught in an anxious spiral, that means the thinking mind, the egoic mind, has taken over. So the way that we can kind of make that U-turn back to self, as Tara Brach calls it, is through the body, is through anchoring down into the body. So we're going to do a little somatic practice tonight, and I'm going to just kind of chat with you about everything that I said in this mindful minisode. So the minisode came out yesterday. It's called Less Thinking, More Feeling, and it was inspired by a chat that I had with one of my mentors. And, you know, it was like I was making this big decision. I was going to invest some money in this program. And I was like freaking out. I'm like, of course, pros and cons lists, just like completely out of trust with self and the universe, just like spiraling, thinking, blah, 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 blah. And after we talked for a while, she was like understanding my work and that obviously I process a lot of things through movement, and movement is a huge part of my work. And, you know, we ended the conversation with her being like, you know, I was like, I'm going to think about it. And she goes, I don't think you should think about this anymore. I think you need to go feel about this. And I was like, damn, you are right. You are right. So I went and did that. And for me, that was rather than going and thinking about it more and letting anxiety just build and build and build under the surface and self-doubt creep in and all of this overthinking and analyzing just like take over. It was like, go dance about it. Go feel into your body about it. And it just inspired me to talk a little bit more about the somatics of anxiety. I know that those of us out there who have panic attacks, who have anxiety disorders, or who maybe you've had your first panic attack like last week, this would be the year for it. There are such a wide variety of physical sensations that are associated with panic attacks. All of the things. I remember when I first started having them, I don't know, when I was like 19, I thought I was dying. 100% thought I was dying. It was like chest pain, weird pain in areas of the body, shortness of breath, disassociation. That was a really big one for me. That's like the disconnection from reality where you almost feel like you're kind of like floating above your body. And what's interesting about that one, side note, is that it's a trauma response. It's that your nervous system is so fearful of handling and being in the present that it just disconnects from reality. It's actually like that fight, flight, freeze. That's the freeze part. The disassociation is the freeze part. And I would go there so often. If you've ever experienced this, let me know. And that's, it almost like causes you to feel a little dizzy or like lightheaded. And then I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to pass out. All of the physical symptoms would always be happening for me. So it was always an invitation to drop deeper into the body, right? The body is like, hey, hello, I'm feeling something, or I'm needing to feel something. I'm needing to be listened to right now. Can you listen to me? Can you listen to me? And being able to just ask that question of, hey, the body's knocking at my door right now. I'm feeling some intensity in the physical. Some sensations are arising. Rather than jumping to conclusions that this means something horrible about you, or that it's going to get worse, or that it means a panic attack is coming and you're not going to be able to kind of turn from it, that is a reaction, right? So rather than grasping it, trying to control it, and reacting to it, what if we could pause and respond? And you know, that sweet spot, that like really, really powerful place is right in between when the sensation arises and your response to it. It's that space between. And so, and even there, I would take it a step further to where we want to get to this place where we are responding to the anxiety versus reacting to the anxiety. Because of course, when scary physical symptoms come up, we're like, oh my gosh, this has to stop right now. Boom, 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 boom. And when we do that, say this is the anxiety, when we do that and we just immediately push it down, push it down, push it down, all that happens is that anxiety just starts to grow and grow and grow and get louder and louder and louder and so much worse. So for all of us out there who have anxiety, who have those oversensitized nervous systems, because that's all that means, my beautiful cherubs, that's all that means. We have these beautiful oversensitized nervous systems. That means that we spend a lot of time up here, and we want to drop in to the body activate that vagus nerve, breathe deep into the belly, get into the body to feel what is here. So we want to do less of this thinking, spiraling, egoic dance. And we want to do more of this feeling, more of letting ourselves feel our emotions, letting our emotions move through us. Because what's interesting is that emotion is literally energy in motion. So when you think about that, energy has to move. Energy has to move. And so this is where the somatic practices come into play. This is where the deep body inquiry comes into play. And I just want to say too, before we jump into this mini practice here, I talked about this last week, but if you're someone who has ever had a panic attack or who has them regularly or deals with anxiety on a regular basis, number one, you're a warrior goddess. And with all seriousness, I do want to say you're an incredibly courageous person, incredibly courageous. It could bring tears to my eyes, because for those people out there in the world who've had stressful days but have never actually had a panic attack, it's kind of hard for them to understand the terror that is associated with them. I've been there. I feel you. I feel you to the deepest level. I used to have multiple panic attacks a day. And so in order to get through these things, in order to just get yourself out of bed and through the damn day, requires such an immense amount of courage. So I just want to commend you. I think there's a lot of discussion out there in the mental health space about, dealing with anxiety as this death sentence or this martyrdom thing. And I'm kind of honestly, every anxious person can tap into a well of intuition, of magic, of creativity, of all of these things, because what comes along with that oversensitized nervous system is pure magic, is empathy, is compassion. And those two things, if all of us could access those regularly, would heal the world. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Don't quote me. So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the podcast episode and drop into this little mini practice here. So yeah, the power lies in that space between when we feel the anxious thought come up, when we feel the anxious sensation come up, and the pause between our response to that. That is where all of the opportunity lies for us to choose. We get to choose. How do we respond to this? So let this be a way for you to take your power back, right? We feel so powerless. We feel so debilitated and paralyzed when we have anxiety, when we're having a panic attack, or when we're going through this kind of for me, it would be I would have a panic attack, and then it would take me a few days to come down from the panic attack. And then for about sometimes months, I would be fearing the next panic attack. And so it was just this panic loop. That's what my coach used to call it, the fear of fear, which I talk about a lot on the podcast too. So anytime we are caught in that fear, right? Anytime we're kind of gearing up for something, we're ready to react before something's even happened. And we want to get to that place where we're responding instead of reacting, right? So we want to get out of this fighting mode. We're ready to fight. We're ready to go. And the invitation when we drop into the body is to open and to soften. Which, when you're feeling a tidal wave of panic, is really hard. Enter your courageous, beautiful, anxious self. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. That's why when I say an anxious person, someone with an oversensitized nervous system, is an actual courageous warrior, goddess being, that is why. So when we're reacting to these situations, when we're trying to push it down, when we're jumping to conclusions oh my gosh, this must mean that I'm dying, or I'm going to pass out, or I'm never going to be able to finish this, or whatever the anxious mind is telling us, we're literally leaving our bodies. We're leaving this beautiful physical vessel, and we're letting this thing drive, which is cool because the thinking mind is here to protect us, right? The sympathetic nervous system is here to protect us. That fight or flight response is here to protect us. And that is super great. Thanks so much. If we're getting chased down by a tiger, sympathetic nervous system's got our back. If we're about to get into a car accident, sympathetic nervous system is like, hit that brake. Totally necessary. We totally need that. But for those of us who struggle with anxiety or panic attacks, we're spending far too much time in the sympathetic. And we want to get out of that. We want to activate that vagus nerve so we can transition over to the parasympathetic, rest and digest, get deep down into the rest and digest. And again, how do we get there? The body. We get there through the body. So I want to do this little mini practice with you. I'm going to play some ambient music. If you're around and you can stand up with me, awesome. If you're watching the replay, I love you so much. Or if you're seated and you want to just kind of sit up straight, it's amazing what we can do, how we can kind of activate the somatics of this with very little movement. You don't have to get up and do like a Pilates class or like a dance routine. Breathing, breath work is a somatic practice, 100%. Hey, Steph, I'm getting a call. I have to take this. Love this stuff. Yay, you're so awesome. I was on her podcast. Thank you for being here. You're amazing. So we're going to check in with the body now. So if you're with me here and you want to stand up, let's do it. I don't know about you, but I faux show need this. So I'm going to just raise my screen here. All we're going to do is come to a standing position. I'm hoping that you can still hear me if I step away from this thing. I'm just going to raise this up. Take a big breath in through your nose, deep down into the belly, and then let it go through your mouth. Let everything go. If you haven't had a chance to do your breathwork practice or your meditation practice today, let this be a chance for you to drop in. Take a few big, big exhales. Reach your arms up and overhead. Look up at the sky and then exhale, open the chest, bend into your elbows. You can do this seated. Totally cool to do this seated. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend those elbows, open the heart, open the chest. Maybe stick that chin up towards the sky. And just do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. And then let yourself come to stillness here. Let your arms land by your sides. Rotate your palms towards the screen in front of you. Let your eyes softly close here. And if you're feeling anxious right now, if you're having one of those moments, if you're having one of those days, you are in the right place, my dear. Take a big breath in. Squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears. Keep them there for the exhale and just notice how it feels to activate the physical body. Notice if any feelings or emotions arise with your body in this position. This feels a little stressful. It feels a little tense. Take a big breath in. Exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. Open the heart, open the chest. Let everything go. Beautiful. Now check in all the way down at the bottoms of the feet here. Notice where your feet meet the earth. And root all four corners of both of your feet into the ground. Bend slightly into the knees. Give your legs a little shake. And let your arms go from side to side, just kind of waking up the body here. Feeling really rooted into the ground though. Keep that support rooted into the earth, like envisioning roots coming down from your feet into the soil beneath you. And just start to shake it out a little bit. And if you're feeling super anxious, if you're feeling like a panic attack is coming on, even if you're watching the replay, really shake the body. I can't see you. Hope maybe no one can see you. Even if we can, who cares? Just shake it around. Start to activate the physical. You can even start to tap on the arms, tap on the legs. We just want to wake it up. We want to say hello. We want to remind the body that it's here, that we are here in our physical form. And this way we can drop down into it. Take a big breath in. Let it go. Do that again. Inhale. Exhale. Then reach your arms up once again. Exhale, turn your palms down to face the earth and let them slowly slowly fall down in front of you, pushing all of that anxious energy down into the earth. If you want to bend into your knees and touch the ground, go for it. Once you hit the ground, inhale, come all the way back up. Reach the palms towards the sky. Exhale, let it go. Push all of that anxiousness, all of that doubt, that fear into the earth. She can handle it. And keep going with this. Do this a few more times. Really spread the body out if it feels good to take up some space. Maybe make some noise. With every movement, with every breath, with every stretch, we're dropping into the body. We're getting out of the head and into the heart, into the body. So keep going. Move in a way that feels good, right? Ask your body, what do I need? How am I feeling right now? And when we start to check in, we start to ask, okay, what emotion is actually present here? Underneath the fear. Let's go underneath the fear. What am I scared of? What am I actually afraid is going to happen? Keep moving, keep breathing here. And when we start to inquire with the self, we notice, what is it that we're scared of? How are we feeling in this moment? Are we feeling full of self-doubt? Are we feeling like we're not enough? Are we feeling grief? Let whatever it is bubble to the surface. And then allow your body to get into a position that you feel is a visual representation of this emotion. So start to embody whatever it is that you're feeling. So if you're feeling less than, if you're feeling really small, get down into a ball, squeeze your palms together, squeeze everything together, right? Like let that emotion move through you. If you're feeling grief, maybe you're standing with your head down. These are just suggestions. You will intuitively know what to do. If you're feeling fucking awesome and filled with joy and expansion, then I want to see that. Embody it. So whatever feeling is present in your system, embody it right now. Let it move through you by getting into the body. So take a big breath in, hold it for just one more breath. And exhale, let it go. Beautiful. Now keep your eyes closed. You can stay standing for this one. Start to let your breath settle. Feel some spaciousness in the spine, in the throat. Relax the face, relax the jaw. I hope that you're exhaling and sighing out loud and letting your belly go right now. I really do. And then just start to check in again with the body. And ask yourself, what part of my beautiful body needs a little extra love right now? And whatever place comes to mind first, let your hands go there. Try not to question this. There's no wrong way to do this. What area of the body? Maybe scan the body a little bit with your hands and just notice where your hands land. Maybe it's right at the lungs. Maybe it's deep down at that sacral chakra. No matter where your hands have landed, use your own healing energy, your own well of magic to transmute and blast the pain in your body, whether it be physical pain or emotional pain. Doing a little self-Reiki here. And breathe deeply. Breathe so deep. Feel the warmth of the palms of your hands. Feel the sense of your own touch. This nurturing, this mothering. And just holding yourself here. Noticing how good it feels to check in with the body. To remember that you are here right now. You are here in this moment, in this body, in this breath. And take a big breath in. Exhale, let it go. And just take a couple more deep breaths. And if this is feeling really good for you, stay right here. There is no rush. Keep those hands on the body or maybe move them to another place. Notice once we awaken the body and we awaken the intuition, it just speaks louder and louder and louder to us. So it gets the vibe that like we're going to give it what it needs, and then it really wants the attention. So be there with your body right now. Keep the breath going, keep the breath flowing. Amazing work. Amazing work. There's no rush to come out of this, but if you're ready, go ahead and blink your eyes open. Come back to the space around you. Oh, amazing. So, I mean, it's been an anxious year for, I would say, everyone. And I think for anxious people, the physical sensations can really set us off sometimes, right? I think our bodies are just yearning for our attention. And when there's something going on in the world, like a pandemic, there are such a wide variety of physical symptoms associated with this pandemic. And as a really sensitive, energetic being, everyone in this community, we can take those on from the collective. And to feel that, I don't know about you, but I know when COVID first started happening, I would come home from the grocery store and be like, I've got it. I have every symptom. I've got it. It's like the hypochondria piece of anxiety. It's the physical manifestation piece of anxiety. And, as an anxious person, the physical, feeling things physically in our body, whether it's an upset stomach or a headache, or honestly being sore from a workout, sometimes can send us off. If it's a different feeling, or really just any feeling for some of us, this can lead us to believing that there's something wrong with us. And the truth is, no matter how anxious you're feeling right now, or no matter how bad your anxiety's been this week, this year, there is nothing wrong with you. And if you're just joining us right now, I'll say it again. Anxious people are incredibly courageous beings. They are fucking badasses, in my opinion. They are. We have to walk through fear so often. So often. So shout out to you. And I'll just leave you with this little invitation. As anxiety is arising, as the physical symptoms are arising, as the, overthinking starts, the self-doubt starts, even when this little practice that we just did, standing and breathing into our body, asking our body what's here, can you go forward from this moment on? Maybe try this on tonight, try it on tomorrow, but everything that comes your way, can you just say yes? If there's discomfort there, yes to the discomfort. If there's fear, yes to the fear. If you're like, this is stupid, and if there's judgment, right? Yes to the judgment. Allow it. You're so welcome, Molly. When we say yes, we get out of that reactivity and we get deeper into this place of responding. When we say yes, we stop the resistance. So that kind of visual I was showing you before, if this is the anxiety and this is us trying to stop it and control it, when we say yes to the anxiety, we can release the grip. And then this starts to trickle away. I hope that makes sense. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, send me a DM. And if this topic, getting out of the head and into the body is resonating with you, it's been an incredible healing journey for me. And that's why I named my online program Out of Fear into the Body. We come at anxiety from a totally holistic approach. So this is, this isn't therapy. I'm not a doctor. This is not prescription medication. This is coming at anxiety from the way that I did, right? It's what worked for me. It's nutrition, it's meditation, it's breath work, it's energy, it's spirituality, it's the body. It's the nervous system. So if you're interested in that, you can apply to be on the wait list at the link in my bio, but start on the podcast. The episode that just came out yesterday is called Less Thinking, More Feeling. And those are one of my mindful minisodes. There's a ton of those on there, tons of information on anxiety, tons of beautiful interviews of people talking about the nervous system. Go listen to it. Podcasts are like my actual best friends. I learn so much from them. They ground me down. They anchor me. So that's why I keep making the podcast. So it can be that for you. It can be your helmet. Thank you for being here, Rachel. What a beautiful practice. Thank you all so, so much. If this is something you feel like would really resonate with a friend who's been struggling with anxiety, please send it to them. This is how we spread the love. And I will see you next time. I love you so much. Have a beautiful night. Bye.